You know, one of the most humorous things that I think I've heard within the last 6 months, ever since Becky got this newfound popularity, right? We're all on the Becky Lynch bandwagon. Oh, look at this guy. He's another Becky Lynch stan. Man, do I fucking hate that. As if there's no stans out there for Alexa Bliss, and there's no stands out there for Nia Jax, right? We're not Becky stans. I want to make that perfectly fucking clear. Nice little disclaimer at the beginning of the video. I am not a stan of anybody. Well, maybe Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, but that's another story. I'm not a stan of any of the particular females right now on WWE television. I wouldn't even go as far as to say I'm a stan of Gargano and Ciampa. I just appreciate great storytelling. And that's what we're here to admire, and that's what we're here for going into WrestleMania. Why are we all in the Becky Lynch bandwagon? Because it makes fucking sense. It makes fucking sense. I am here to give you every fucking logical reason why Charlotte Flair should not be in the women's championship match at WrestleMania. Now, I want to put out another disclaimer just for all the fucking idiots out there that want to jump down my throat. If Charlotte is indeed added to this triple threat match that we're supposedly rumored to be getting, if Charlotte is indeed added, I'm not going to be upset about it. I'm not going to be upset about it because A, I actually expect it to happen, and I would be shocked if it doesn't happen. And B, adding Charlotte to the match really isn't going to hinder the overall match quality that we are anticipating at WrestleMania for a main event. The only reason why I don't want Charlotte in there, primarily, is because after Monday Night Raw and the reaction that Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey got, it was so fucking epic, they pretty much told you without even mentioning Charlotte Flair, hey, honey, we don't need you. We got this under control. Now, it was talked about in Sports Illustrated after all that happened on Monday Night Raw. Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey, one-on-one, is set to close WrestleMania 35. Now, I would like all of you to take this with a grain of salt. This is Sports Illustrated. It's not coming from a particular dirt sheet. This is Sports Illustrated. Becky Lynch's well-received victory at the Royal Rumble on Sunday, and the segment between her and Ronda Rousey on Raw the following night, made it clear that fans are behind this feud and that they would love to see a one-on-one match between the two. Now, while reports suggested that the company is planning to add Charlotte Flair to this match later on, how they get there, I don't know. I have my own vision about how they should go about it. It appears that these two in the mentioned segment have officially made this match, right now, one-on-one. In the latest edition of their Week in Wrestling column, Sports Illustrated provided an update on the WrestleMania main event, revealing that the company is planning to close the show with a Raw Women's Championship match, Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. It would be the first time ever that the women are main eventing WrestleMania. Now, before I continue on with that, I want to make another side note here. You know, it's really, really bizarre to me how a lot of people are letting their feelings at this particular moment skew their wrestling mentality. I have always, no matter what people say about me on social media, oh, JD, he's a sexist, man. He hates all the women, man. This could not be any further from the truth. I hate the women. I love the women. I just hate the way that they're fucking portrayed, and I hate the way that they're booked. Because all of this that's happening right now is, to me, the start, finally, of the women's revolution. Before all this Becky Lynch stuff happened, what the fuck were we getting? And what was there to fucking compliment? Seriously, ask yourself that question. We were getting Carmella versus Asuka, and Carmella beating Asuka for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship If you think that's a fucking revolution, you're on drugs. Charlotte beat Asuka at WrestleMania. I'm going to sit here and tell you again an outcome that I really don't agree with now looking back on it, but it happened. Because look at what they did to Asuka after that. And look at what they did with Charlotte after that. She went away. She didn't look any better than she does now after beating Asuka at WrestleMania. There was nothing about that even spoke to me as being a revolution. Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax? Please, blindfold me and fucking dump me in the back of a fucking limousine and throw me off a fucking cliff. Please. Jesus fucking Christ. God awful. God awful. What they're doing now is a revolution. What they're doing now is pretty much outshining the men in every sense of the fucking word. They are legitimately the most interesting thing on television. Brock Lesnar is not. Seth Rollins is not. Finn Balor is not. Daniel Bryan is pretty damn fucking close. We have AJ Styles. He's cooled off. Randy Orton, Samoa Joe, Mustafa Ali, Andrade Cien Almas, Rey Mysterio. They're doing good stuff on SmackDown Live, but it's not something that is more must-see than Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. You know how many times a wrestling promotion will go into a certain storyline and they'll kind of be teetering on what to do, if it's something that they should go with, and maybe they have indecision. Should I go with it? Should I not go with it? Should this one win? Should that one win? Listen, I am sick and tired of people who are indecisive. I really am. If you see something staring you directly in the fucking face, and you know it's right, there's no fucking reason to be indecisive. You go with it. This is what they need to go with. Because if you don't do it, it's never gonna present itself in the same way that it is now. And if it does, it's not gonna be better than the first time. Believe me. Believe me. I'm old enough to know. I've watched enough pro wrestling to know. I've talked to enough people in the business to know. Simple. Don't let your fucking fanboyism or fangirlism skew what is right and what is wrong. I don't give a fuck what you think of a certain superstar. I'm not the one with the fucking Alexa Bliss shrines in your bedroom. You guys sit in darkness for about 6 hours praying that she dumps Buddy Murphy. I am about what's right and what is wrong. This is right. If you don't strike while the iron is hot, it's not going to be as hot as it is now. There's a reason why Ronda Rousey is here. This is the reason. There's no other reason. It's this and the horsewomen. That's it. That's it. Simple as that. But I digress. If Charlotte is added to this match, I'm not going to be upset as long as the outcome is right. But I much rather see a one-on-one match. They said in their Week in Wrestling column, the picture for WrestleMania 35 is far clearer today than it was before the Royal Rumble. With only 67 days since the time of this article being released until WrestleMania, sources close to WWE have told Sports Illustrated that the current plan is to close WrestleMania 35 with Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch as the main event. End quote. Now, I don't really expect WWE to reveal their real plans for WrestleMania. They probably told something of this nature to Sports Illustrated just so that they can print this article, but they have other things in mind. Card subject to change. It is unlike WWE to reveal their cards and put them all out on the fucking table. Usually WWE holds, especially WrestleMania, their cards close to their vest. So this could be what they have planned now. It could be something totally different after the Elimination Chamber and after Fastlane. We have all these days to go until WrestleMania. 2 months. Things can change in 2 months. This leaves Charlotte in an interesting spot, as it's not very likely she will be left out of the WrestleMania card. I don't know why anybody would think Charlotte is going to be left off the WrestleMania card. She is the female Roman Reigns, after all. So it's going to be interesting to see what backup plans the company has for her and who Charlotte ends up facing at the show. I have a fantasy booking scenario I'd like to run by you guys. Now, during a recent episode of Bustin' Open Radio, Bully Ray actually talked about the upcoming match and discussed the reports of Flair being added to the match. He first discussed the segment from Monday's Raw and said that after what we saw on Raw, he does not want to see Charlotte involved between these two. Continuing on the topic, Bully Ray recalled his recent tweet in which he mentioned how WWE has 66 days before WrestleMania to build up a storyline in the men's division. He said that if, in this time, they cannot come up with a match or storyline that has more intensity, passion, or emotional investment from the crowd than Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey, then the Raw Women's Championship match should be main eventing WrestleMania. Mr. Bully Ray, you are absolutely 100% correct in everything that you just said. Whether or not Charlotte will be added to this match is something that will be revealed in the coming weeks, but the latest report from Sports Illustrated suggests that the match is going on with Becky and Ronda closing the show one-on-one. Again, this is WWE probably just giving them information to print this article to promote WrestleMania. What they really have in mind might indeed be adding Charlotte to the main event in the end after all is said and done. Why Charlotte does not need to be added to the main event of WrestleMania. Let's go over it, all right? For all the fucking trolls out there, for all the fucking, the stans out there who want to poke fun at everybody else because we're Becky Lynch, fans and we're supporting Becky Lynch. Meanwhile, they look themselves in the mirror and what they're calling other people, they are exactly that. For all the people that want to say Charlotte deserves or Charlotte belongs or Charlotte needs to be in the main event, I'm going to shut you up right now because this is what I love to do. I love shutting people up who are unintelligent on the topics above. Okay? Becky, number one, is the only of the horsewomen who have not had a match with Ronda Rousey one-on-one. Charlotte was put in Becky's place at the Survivor Series to battle Ronda, okay? Actually, it was revealed that everything that Charlotte did was supposed to be Becky Lynch. Move for move, word for word, sequence for sequence, down to the very last kendo stick shot at the Survivor Series. It was just given to Charlotte because they had nothing else planned on last minute. That is that. Sasha had her match with Ronda Rousey. Bayley had a shot at Ronda Rousey on Monday Night Raw. Charlotte, we all know. Becky is the only one who hasn't gotten her one-on-one match with Ronda Rousey. I could end it right there. And with all the rumors that Ronda Rousey's going away, why wouldn't you give Becky a one-on-one match with Ronda Rousey? They don't need Charlotte. That was obviously proven with Monday Night Raw's reaction on that piss-poor fucking show. Becky's popularity, no matter who the fuck you listen to in the community, they're a bunch of fucking idiots. Becky's popularity has not once declined. In fact, it's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. We'll stop after WrestleMania when she wins the title. The most difficult part of this all is if Becky can maintain that as champion on Monday Night Raw. That's where the real test is going to come into play. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Becky's popularity has not once declined. She is owning every sense of her character on social media. Go and look at her social media interactions. She posts something and people are all over it. I've never seen another female outside of the beauty queens, the divas who post these scantily clad pictures that are getting as much social media reaction than Becky Lynch. Becky's just promoting herself. She's not in a bikini. She's not in lingerie. She's not at home fucking taking selfies with fucking Snapchat filters. She ain't doing none of that. Nowhere close to that. She's always presenting herself in character in the ring, talking about the storyline that's going on right now. Look at the social media reaction. If you think that's declining, maybe you should go back to school, you fucking imbecile. There's nothing about this woman's popularity that is declining. Again, we'll cross that Raw bridge when we get there, when she wins the match at WrestleMania and is on Raw, because being on Raw is like a fucking career killer. I hope it doesn't end up being the same thing for Becky Lynch. But Becky's popularity has not declined. In fact, she has 2 new t-shirts. She has a WrestleMania-specific t-shirt with her face that says WrestleMania, and M-A-N is highlighted in big yellow letters. I might actually go out and buy it, because I did Daniel Bryan's, and this is very similar to what Daniel Bryan had Yeselmania. This is WrestleMania. Might actually end up getting it. And it's a WWE.com shirt. What do you know? That's actually a huge positive in this whole Becky Lynch story. The fact that they're giving her merchandise before WrestleMania. Yes, for all the fucking goons out there, Charlotte can make a case for it being unfair that Becky was in the Royal Rumble. But, listen to this, clowns. This might fucking throw you for a loop. Becky won the Royal Rumble. If Charlotte is added to the Royal Rumble, what good is the fucking Royal Rumble? It takes away from winning the Royal Rumble. Becky won the Royal Rumble. In my eyes, Becky goes on to WrestleMania. I didn't see Charlotte win the Royal Rumble. I didn't see Charlotte and Becky tie at the Royal Rumble. Whether you want to see it or not, Becky won the Royal Rumble. So, by history standards, who goes to WrestleMania? The winner of the Royal Rumble. I could walk away right now. I could put this microphone, turn it off, walk out the fucking door, and go grab lunch. I'm done. Done. WWE might be thinking they need a heel in this match. Is Charlotte really a heel? Well, when she's presented next to Becky Lynch, she certainly is a fucking heel. They might be thinking that they need a heel in this match. You know, Ronda Rousey's the goody two-shoes, right? Who kind of turns it up when she's in that big match moment. She's the babyface. They might want to portray Charlotte as a heel in this situation, thinking that they need that heel dynamic in their match. Hey Vince, you fucking creative goons out there. Becky is the babyface. You got your heel in this match already. After Monday Night Raw, there's no doubt about it. Ronda Rousey is your fucking heel. Maybe you should open your fucking ears and listen to the reaction that Ronda Rousey got. She is your heel. Don't want to hear any other notion on that. WWE loves Mania moments. Oh, the WrestleMania moments. The WrestleMania moments. Charlotte had her WrestleMania moment. She's had many moments in this evolution or revolution of women's wrestling. She's in, what is she, an 8-time fucking women's champion? How many fucking moments you need? Every time she won the title, it's a moment. She had a WrestleMania moment. I don't see Asuka's streak intact anymore. When a woman holds a fucking title and is undefeated for 900 days and you beat her at WrestleMania, that's a moment. That's a moment. I don't give a fuck who you are. That's a moment. It's Becky's time now. Doesn't mean Charlotte can't have a moment on this show of her own, but she doesn't need to be in this match to have a WrestleMania moment. I'll dive into that notion in a little bit. Charlotte doesn't need to be in the main event to have a WrestleMania moment. There are two other situations on this show that could give Charlotte a WrestleMania moment. One on her own and one in the group with Sasha, Bayley, and Becky Lynch. We'll talk about that in a second. If Charlotte is added, it may be harmful for her character, and she will be in the same boat as Ronda Rousey. Does WWE really want Charlotte Flair to be portrayed as a heel? Really? Do they want that negative reaction for Charlotte Flair? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, they did everything to portray Becky as the heel, and they wanted Charlotte to be the one who came out on the good side. It was never going to happen. It was never going to happen. They tried to do it then. I dare them to try that this time around. Charlotte will be booed out of every building she steps foot in. They don't want that. So it may be harmful for her character moving on after WrestleMania, but like I said, they already have their heel in Ronda Rousey. Ronda is not going to be on the babyface side of the fence when standing next to Becky Lynch. I'm sorry. All you need to do is reference Monday Night Raw to see exactly what I'm talking about. To add to that notion, if Charlotte Flair is added, you know for a fact that the comparisons to Mr. Reigns, Roman Reigns, will be there. all a part of the political agenda. You don't want that. Why is Charlotte in the main event? Because she's WWE's queen. Can't talk about a women's championship without including Charlotte. Fuck that. Fuck that. Let's get that out of the picture. We don't need that bullshit. Okay? Charlotte doesn't need to be there because you want to push a certain political agenda because she's Charlotte Flair. Not taking anything away from the woman, but she's had 5 times more opportunities than everybody else on that fucking roster. She doesn't need another one. And if you put her in there, it's always going to be going right back to the same fucking thing when it's these WWE Elite. Oh, look, Charlotte's there. WWE's trying to ram her down our throats. Oh, look, she's the chosen one. Let's get away from that, please. We don't need that. And if it does happen to be Charlotte in this match with Becky and Ronda, you know for a fact that those comparisons are going to be made. We don't want to hear that. If WWE, this is a good one. If WWE wanted Becky to win, they don't need Charlotte to be there. They'll book Becky to beat Ronda, which is the right decision. Becky needs to pin Ronda. I don't give a fuck if Charlotte is there or not. If they wanted Becky to win, Becky can win without Charlotte being there because the only outcome in this thing is Becky pinning Ronda. If they wanted Becky to lose, they would book her to lose against Ronda Rousey. Charlotte doesn't need to be there. Charlotte doesn't need to be there. So, it's all about telling the right story. The right story is Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey one-on-one and Becky making Ronda tap out. It's not that difficult of a story, people. It's not that difficult of a story. Now, there is something for Charlotte to do on this show without putting her in the main event with Becky and Ronda. Smackdown Live Women's title. Now, I made mention of this on my Smackdown review. You guys can go back and watch it in the annotation above. Smackdown Live Women's Championship. I proposed that we book Charlotte and Asuka 2 at WrestleMania. Now, you could do one of two things. Charlotte can beat Asuka. Charlotte can be the SmackDown Live Women's Champion, because if that is the case, Charlotte can lead SmackDown Live, and they need that type of figure, because I don't really think that they have all this type of hype or promise in Asuka. Asuka's there, she's fantastic, but I don't think Asuka has the backing of Vince McMahon like we all think she should. Charlotte wins the championship, which I know some of you might hate, because that would mean 2 WrestleManias in a row, Asuka doesn't get her win over Charlotte. Charlotte maintains that match and wins the Women's Championship, leads SmackDown Live because Becky's going to beat Ronda. Ronda is going to go away and Becky's going to be on Monday Night Raw. They need that figure at the top to lead the division. That's one way of looking at it. Number 2, Charlotte can win the title, but not necessarily against Asuka. She doesn't have to pin Asuka again at WrestleMania because we don't want to go through that same situation, and I don't think Asuka deserves that again anyway. WWE could book a Fatal 4-Way. WWE could book a Fatal 4-Way. They could do Charlotte, they could do Asuka, they could put Mandy Rose in the Fatal 4-Way, and Naomi in the Fatal 4-Way if they wanted to. There really isn't anybody else on SmackDown Live that could fit into that role. You know, the women's division on SmackDown Live has been all Becky and Charlotte. So if they want to do that, they could do Mandy Rose, Naomi, tie up that storyline, keep that going for a little bit. It's kind of interesting. And then Asuka and Charlotte. And Charlotte can pin either Naomi or Mandy Rose and win the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. That could be her moment. Now, if you wanted to add Charlotte to the main event with Becky and Ronda, I don't want Charlotte beating Becky to get into the main event. I don't want them just adding Charlotte there. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. Number 1, you ain't being added to anything. Again, reference the Royal Rumble note that I mentioned. Becky should not be losing to anybody on the road to WrestleMania. In fact, she should not be losing from now until WrestleMania. She needs to pin or make Ronda tap. Simple. If they wanted to add Charlotte to the main event, she wins the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. She goes through the motions all the way up until this match. She's just so obsessed. Like Shawn Michaels beating The Undertaker at WrestleMania, obsessed by wanting to be in the main event. So much so that she'll win the title in the first match of the show and then come out at the end and say, you know what? I belong here. I'm the queen. So much so that I'm upping the ante for this match. You want the Raw Women's Championship match? Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey? Fuck it. I'm putting the SmackDown Live Women's Championship on the line, and after the winner is crowned, you'll be both SmackDown and Raw Women's Champions, and the unified division is won. That's what I would do. That's a way of doing it as well. But Charlotte, in the end, should not be there. If they wanted to add Charlotte, I think that would be a great way to go about it. Make the whole card better by focusing on one match that doesn't need her, put her in another match, let her do something else that makes the overall card that much better. If you put Charlotte in the main event with Becky and Ronda, and then you leave Asuka to go against a Naomi or a Mandy Rose or a Sonya Deville and leave her with really no opponent, you're making the WrestleMania card worse in the end. Now, if you put Charlotte in a match with Asuka or Charlotte in a match with Asuka, Naomi, and Mandy Rose, the overall match card for WrestleMania is a little bit better because of Charlotte being there instead of being in the main event and leaving Asuka to nobody. Wow, I just blew your mind, didn't I? Yeah, I know. Finally, you talk about WrestleMania moments. If Charlotte wins the Smackdown Live Women's Championship and Becky Lynch wins the Raw Women's Championship for Ronda Rousey, you know, there are two other horsewomen that I'm predicting to be on the card by either defending and successfully defending or winning the tag team championships of the women's division on that show, and that is Bayley and Sasha Banks. So, at the end of this thing, when Ronda is tapping out and she's going away, Becky Lynch is going to close WrestleMania as your Raw Women's Champion. Charlotte will be the SmackDown Live Women's Champion. If they don't put her in the main event, then there is no unification title match, which I'm kind of predicting, but I don't expect to have happen. So that would be Becky with the Raw title, Charlotte with the SmackDown title, Sasha and Bayley as the tag team champions of the women's division. They would all come out, and you close WrestleMania by all of them doing that. You want a fucking WrestleMania moment? I can't think of a better WrestleMania moment than that. Charlotte doesn't need to be in that main event to have a WrestleMania moment. You can give her own WrestleMania moment and then give her a WrestleMania moment with everybody, because the next natural step in this storyline is coming. Becky will have conquered Ronda. Ronda's going to go away, and hopefully in that time, Shayna is on the main roster. Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir are coming along, and we start getting this. If you don't like what I said here, you don't like hearing the truth. There is absolutely nobody watching me that can disagree with any of the points that I made here. I don't come here unprepared. I don't come here yelling and ranting and raving and complaining and all this shit because it's something that I enjoy doing. The amount of bullshit that I see on social media every single day, the amount of bullshit I get in my email, the amount of bullshit I get in the comment section on these videos makes me dumber by the fucking minute. I need to throw this in people's faces. There are people out there who use Twitter as a cancerous fucking platform that are absolutely the dumbest fucking people I have ever seen. This and everything I listed here will shut you up. And if you think you're right, you're not. You're wrong. Simple as that. There's a difference between giving an opinion and stating fact. What you usually do, or the trolls I should say, is state an opinion, but their opinion is not even an opinion. It's wrong. It's wrong. What I stated here is all fact. It's all fact. My opinion is my opinion. But also, when I state my opinion, I'm giving you every single reason as to why my opinion makes yours irrelevant. That's off the script. I am going to go get a beverage, and I'll be back with more news right here on Off the Script, 259, part number 2. We're just getting started, motherfucker. We're just getting started. Why did WWE address the Dean Ambrose situation publicly on social media? Shane McMahon's current WrestleMania plan. Shane Helms and Sean Daivari signed for backstage producer roles. And was Lars Sullivan slated to be with Daniel Bryan instead of Eric Rowan? All that plus so much more right here on Off the Script. Off this shitty fucking product by coming on here and speaking the fucking goddamn truth about this fucking filth. That I can book a better show taking a fucking dump after eating my fucking Chipotle chorizo with extra cheese. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Have I ever? Of course not. WWE's great, man. Fuck you, Japan, and Kenny Omega, Okada. Johnny! Ooh, what is it, man? Can I suck your dick? Ooh, what is it, man? that this is the #1 fucking podcast right here on YouTube.com. This is Off the Script. You know, I just posted on Twitter that the first 30 minutes of today's Off the Script is going to shut up every Becky Lynch hater so much that I could taste their tears already. And people reply back to me, there's Becky Lynch haters? Yeah. There's absolutely Becky Lynch haters. And I don't know why. I would love someone to give me a fucking reason as to what else is on television that's better. On WWE television, that is. Do you know that we're getting Double J Jeff Jarrett versus Elias on Monday Night Raw? I could already hear the changing of the channels as we speak, and it's only Saturday. Yeah, but we're in a new era, though, right? Fucking pathetic. Off the Script, episode 259. This is part number 2. Thank you so much for joining me. Listen, if you enjoyed that fucking open, man, I want you to go and hit that thumbs up. You're watching the video right now. You could do it with me still speaking to you. Scroll down, hit that thumbs up. It's going to give you a nice little blue thumbs up. Hit the motherfucker, and let's get over 2,000 likes on today's video, please. I would greatly appreciate it. So much so, it would make my day. Thank you guys so very much. Please follow me on social media, man, at JD from NY206 on the Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you guys go and do that. I've been on Instagram a lot more lately, looking to build my audience over there, so please go and follow me. I am the only JD from New York 206 on there, so I should be the first thing that pops up in the search. Follow me on Twitch, JD from New York. I'll be live streaming on the 7th with the AEW Double or Nothing fan rally from the MGM pool in Las Vegas. So if you guys want to join me over there, I'll be live streaming my reactions to the rally. And if you guys want to hit that subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate it. We are almost at 106,000 subscribers, man. Thank you guys so very much. Patreon, if you guys want to support on Patreon, patreon.com/JD from NY206, completely optional. You guys got some of the AEW news early the night before. Probably going to happen again this evening. I got more AEW news to come. Apparently, Pentagon and Phoenix have agreed to join AEW. So much so that Chris Jericho is already starting a war with Pentagon and Phoenix via social media, man. Excitement to come with All Elite Wrestling. I also got news and rumors on Luke Harper joining AEW. We'll talk about it, man. In fact, I got a phone call awaiting for me later today from Cody, so you don't want to miss it, man. So make sure you guys go and check all that stuff out. Those videos are now live on the channel in the annotation, so if you missed yesterday's AEW, or not yesterday's, Thursday's, and then actually this morning I uploaded an AEW video. Kenny Omega's contract and his contract status, his new home revealed, and information on the Double or Nothing fan rally. That went up around 12 noon today, so make sure you guys go and check that out. You're going to see a beautiful new thumbnail from my boy Sal Rex, nice and gray with Kenny's mug right there on the thumbnail, man. Go and check it out. If you missed Off the Script for Friday, we talk everything about Dean Ambrose and what led to his release, why I think it's a major story that really, you know, a lot of people aren't taking that seriously. So you guys need to start taking this seriously. It's going to be a major, major, major thing that could easily see the cracks in the WWE wall getting even bigger. So we talk about all that. Go and check all that stuff out right now on the channel. The new shirt is now available, folks. JDs Elite. Make sure you guys go and get your t-shirt. It is now available on bonfire.com. And I want to shout out everybody right here that has already purchased a t-shirt. I want to shout out Monique. I want to shout out Dane, John, Robert. I don't know if it's the same John, but another John. Chris, Dustin, Skylar, Andrew, Juan, Daryl, and Jamal. Thank you guys so very much. And we just got another one that just came in here. Look, we got a whole bunch more. Look at us, man. Saeed, Julie, Jose, Stefan, and Helen. And then we got Luis. Thank you guys so very much for all your support on the new JDs Elite t-shirt. It is available right now. I'm going to leave you guys a link in the description and a link in the comment section pinned at the very top with whatever else you guys might have missed. And I'll post it again on YouTube a little bit later, man. Bonfire.com/store/off-the-script. And in off-the-script, it is off-the-script. I'll leave you guys a link down in the comment section. So please go and check all that out, man. I am so happy about that design. Again, shout out to Sal Rex for that design, man. Beautiful, beautiful shirt. And a lot of people have said it is the best looking shirt that I have on the shop. So you guys can go get it. It is now available all month on bonfire.com. I need to tell you guys about Harry's, man, because Harry's is absolutely the best shave you will ever have. Absolutely guaranteed, man. I've been using it for a year, and you guys know my story. But what do you love about Harry's and shaving with Harry's? Is it the closeness? Is it the smooth, comfortable shave, the comfortable glide? What is it? I want you guys to let me know. 10 million people have already tried Harry's, and I want you to be one of the 10 million. You guys can claim a free trial offer right now by using our unique link, harrys.com/script. Why Harry's? Harry's and the founders of Harry's were tired of paying for razors that were overpriced and overdesigned. You know how you go into the supermarket or the drugstore and all the razors are hidden behind cases and you gotta have some goon. Would you like one of those really expensive razors? You know, I should shave too, but I'm too busy eating wood. You know, the goons behind the counter over there, they gotta come over and unlock the door. You know, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Or the gimmicks from some of these other brands, man. The vibrating heads, the flex balls, the handles that look like they're made from outer space. You know, all these different tactics to raise the price for these products. And it's been going on for decades. But Harry's fixed that by combining simple, clean designs with quality, durable blades at a great price. Now, Harry's actually bought a world-class blade factory in Germany that's been making quality blades for over 95 years. And Harry's themselves have received over 20,000 five-star reviews on Trustpilot and Google. Unbelievable. And all these blades, all Harry's blades come with a 100% quality guarantee. If you don't love your shave, which I don't know why you wouldn't, let them know and they'll give you a full refund, man. A $13 value trial set for free. Everything you need for a close, comfortable shave. You're going to get a razor handle. One choice. You got 3 different colors, man. The orange, the navy blue, and the evergreen. You can choose whatever you want. 5-blade razor with lubricating strip and trimmer blade. You don't know how handy that is, man. I love it. I absolutely love it. You're going to get a generous 2-ounce bottle of their rich lathering shave gel, which it soothes, it hydrates, it smells fantastic. And you're going to get a travel blade cover as well. If you're on the go, if you love to travel, or if you just want it to look nice in your medicine cabinet, man. No matter what, I keep it sitting on my sink in my bathroom with the blade cover on it because it looks pretty damn good. So, listeners of my show, man, if you're listening to Off the Script, harrys.com/script, make sure you go to harrys.com/script to redeem your free trial offer and let them know that I, JD from NY, sent you over there, man. harrys.com/script. Thank you guys so very much for all of your support. Let's hit the news right here on Off the Script. We're going to start off with this one, man. Why WWE addressed the Dean Ambrose situation publicly on social media. Again, if you missed my video, you guys can go check it out on Friday. It's in the annotation. Over 2 hours of Off the Script on Friday. And we talked about the Dean Ambrose situation. You know, the one thing I really wanted to strike home about this situation is the fact that Dean Ambrose leaving is a major, major situation. You might not like Dean Ambrose. For the fucking idiots out there who are, oh, Dean Ambrose is boring. Dean Ambrose offered nothing to WWE. You've seen one Dean Ambrose match. You've seen them all. Yes, I agree with you on most of that. But it's a 50-50 fucking split here. With WWE not really treating Dean Ambrose as good as Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. He never felt like he came into his own. I was never a huge fan of Dean Ambrose, but I do know that the guy was treated unfairly, especially ever since he came back from surgery and injury, had that great heel turn on Monday Night Raw. They did nothing to give us the Dean Ambrose character that we thought we were getting. We thought we were getting a genuine lunatic, and we did not get that, and we got more comedy, more hokey bullshit, and it broke him to a point where he pretty much said to Vince McMahon, I'm not coming back after WrestleMania. I'm gone. But this is a major situation because if a guy like Dean Ambrose is walking away, what the fuck is that going to do for the younger talent? Not even the younger talent. A guy like Dean Ambrose has been in the main event for the last 5 years, a major player, a main event star in this company, a main event guy in this company walking away so willingly from guaranteed money. What the fuck is that going to do for the rest of the locker room? What do you think that's going to do to their mentality and their mindset? Well, if Dean Ambrose is walking away and he's unhappy, what the fuck am I doing here? That's what I really want you guys to understand. Now, I do on the same side of the coin think it's possibly a work. It's possibly a work, you know? Let's take Dean Ambrose and our creative, shitty fucking booking and turn this into a real-life storyline. It could work. It could make Dean Ambrose more popular than ever before, but it could also backfire because it sends a bad message to the locker room. Look at our shitty writing. Now we have to backtrack, and with everybody that's disgruntled, you know, they wish that the same thing could be happening for them, but they're not Dean Ambrose. So it's hit or miss with that type of mentality as well, with it being a work. If it works, and it is a work, this could make Dean Ambrose into the biggest star that we've ever seen. And I mentioned that Meltzer talked about a major storyline happening before WrestleMania, something that the management team and the higher-ups were really excited about that could really bring forth change to WWE. This could be it. And there's no better character than Dean Ambrose to play something along the lines of a real-life, you know, rebel. And the fact that Monday Night Raw seeing all these different things happen, it was just very bizarre. Comes out on Monday Night Raw with Seth Rollins and Triple H. He's in Triple H's face, teasing a possible confrontation with Triple H. You're not going to do that if nothing is really not planned. And then he sits in the ring after his loss to Seth Rollins and they cut him off. Just very bizarre. Interaction with Nia Jax. You're going to bury a main event guy with Nia Jax? 5 years the guy gave. You're going to bury him with Nia Jax? Now, I think that's just WWE striking while the iron was hot with Nia Jax because everybody was talking about it. She eliminated Mustafa Ali in the Royal Rumble, took an RKO from Randy Orton, took a super kick from Dolph Ziggler, so they pretty much said, well, we'll just continue to feed off this negative heat that we're getting with this and put her out there against Dean Ambrose. But him being bullied by Nia Jax, I can't see WWE doing Dean Ambrose that dirty. It doesn't really make any sense. The other fact is that they addressed all of this on social media. Something that they never do. They never feed into the dirt sheets. They don't really care about that, even though they do on the down low. They don't really make that publicly known. Now, Wade Keller broke this news, and he also followed up on it this weekend. He brought up the fact that WWE later acknowledged Ambrose's exit on the Wade Keller Pro Wrestling Podcast. The company could have made this public for a couple of reasons, as Keller discussed, but every one of them was an attempt to benefit the company during this extremely questionable time. WWE trying to fan the flames because All Elite Wrestling is really pushing their buttons. The AEW effect is more real than people realize. He says, and I quote, I know that they got axed by media, and maybe they feel like they had a responsibility to answer these questions from investors or the media regarding someone who has definitely said that they're not going to be there, starting in May. Or they just wanted to own the narrative, and it's a very big story. It's a top guy for the last 5 years, and there's a report out there, an incredible report. Hopefully, I can say that he had rejected their contract offer. I mean, they could ignore it. I'm sure there's an internal discussion. It doesn't come up much that a story of that magnitude gets out there without their controlling it. So maybe putting the statement out was just a way to grab the reins and say, all right, we're a little in control of this because we're going to own what the truth is. Dean Ambrose, end quote, by the way. Dean Ambrose is very likely to leave WWE when his contract expires. This could be amazing timing for AEW as well because they are interested in bringing him in. We will have to wait and see what WWE has Ambrose do next, but he might not have much to lose at this point. And I'm wondering if Dean Ambrose is going to play nice. One of the things that I always worry about, And I'd love to see someone just go off the rails, which I know it's not going to happen because they have some sort of respect for the company. I don't think Dean Ambrose is the type of guy to burn bridges down. But imagine with a live microphone how different he's going to be now that he already told them that he's not coming back, and it's out there that he's not coming back. What this guy is contemplating to say. He wants to just go out there, balls to the wall. So having Dean Ambrose with a live microphone on Monday Night Raw and in the weeks to come, possibly leading to something at WrestleMania, either with Nia Jax or Triple H, something is going to be a very interesting thing to dissect as we move on to WrestleMania. Now, AEW, they are biting their fucking tongues right now, waiting, thirsty for Dean Ambrose's contract to be up. I don't know if Dean Ambrose is going to go to AEW. It's certainly a possibility. Everybody that's disgruntled is, possibly headed to AEW. They would definitely want Dean Ambrose. He's a former WWE champion. He's a main event guy for the last 5 years. Why the fuck not? Fresh coat of paint could do someone really, really, really fucking good. In this case, Ambrose going to AEW, I think that might be a nice little home for Mr. Jonathan Good. Now, AEW just signed, well, not really officially, but I guess it was a handshake deal. And I really don't even know how factual this is because I was under the assumption that Pentagon and Phoenix were under Impact contracts. I don't know when they expire. I do know that Impact is offering them double the amount of money that they originally offered them to keep them, and rightfully so. I would not want those two guys walking away from my company. And I know they're contracted through MLW until the end of the year. Now, does this mean that Pentagon and Phoenix are going to be with MLW, but they're going to be allowed to work AEW? Does AEW have a working relationship with MLW? And if Pentagon and Phoenix are on the AEW roster, and then they have Pentagon, Phoenix, and Kenny Omega at the fan rally in Las Vegas, and then they're waiting for Dean Ambrose to come on in, the ball game is starting to look a little bit more different. All the fucking idiots that said, oh, who's on their roster? Nobody. Starting to look a little bit better now, isn't it? So this is a very sticky situation, folks. Part of me wants to continue saying it's a work, and we're going to have to dissect this as we go on. But I could easily see Dean Ambrose versus Triple H in a match at WrestleMania. That would probably be the most interesting thing. Dean Ambrose versus Nia Jax is somewhat bizarrely interesting, but not something that I think WWE is going to go ahead and do. Maybe. I don't know. And we talked about, does he stay on TV or does he stay off of TV? I think WWE owes it to Dean Ambrose as a thank you. Keep him on TV. Keep him on TV. Either he's on TV or off TV. Either way you look at it, his stock is not going to decline. He's still going to be the most sought-after guy on the free agent market, whether he's on TV or not. They could keep him on TV and bury him. It doesn't matter. I don't think WWE is going to do that. I would hope not. That would be a fucking absolutely disrespectful slap in the face. And you don't want to do that because they already stated in their tweet they hope Dean Ambrose comes back. And if he senses any type of disrespect, he might not come back. Renee Young might take offense to that. They don't want to lose Renee Young. So they can't really bury him, and if they do, it's not going to hurt his stock. He's going to end up somewhere anyway and be a major player wherever he goes. And if they keep him off TV, it's not going to do them any good either, because he's still going to be wanted. Neville was more wanted than ever before. When he was away from WWE and he went dead silent, everybody wondered, where's Neville? His stock never declined. So WWE is in a lose-lose situation here. For all we know, they could still be sitting down with Dean Ambrose trying to contemplate a contract, come to an agreement, maybe turn all this negativity into a possible storyline to drastically change his character and the direction of his character. Because, quite frankly, the way you look at Dean Ambrose right now, you take him off WWE television, it's not going to hurt the quality of the shows at all. He's there, and he's pretty much there, and it feels like it's nothing. It feels like nothing. So if they want to turn this into a real life thing, this could be the best thing for him. And anything that they do from here on out, if they want to bring it to TV, is a fucking major upgrade on what they've been doing with Dean Ambrose anyway. So this is a major situation. And again, I stress the influence that Ambrose has by leaving guaranteed money from WWE. I'm talking 5 years, job security, guaranteed 7 figures, $1 million a year, guaranteed downside. For him to walk away from WWE with that type of money, what does that say to everybody else in the locker room? Well, if Dean's going, what the fuck am I still doing here? Can't wait to see what happens, man. It's definitely a very, very interesting situation. Shane McMahon's WrestleMania plans. Now, according to the Wrestling Observer and Sports Illustrated, they are planning a one-on-one, they meaning WWE, one-on-one match with the former SmackDown Live commissioner, and his opponent will be none other than his partner and the other half of the SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions, Mike Mizanin, The Miz. The Miz and Shane have been engaged in a storyline since last year, so it makes sense for this angle to culminate at the upcoming pay-per-view with a match on the grandest stage of them all. However, these two haven't exactly been feuding, so it will be interesting to see how the company plans to put these partners against one another and which one of them turns heel for this rivalry. It's worth noting here that there were reports of Shane McMahon turning heel last year after Raw's clean sweep over SmackDown Live during the Survivor Series. So who ends up being heel? I'm going with Shane McMahon being the babyface and The Miz being the heel. I have absolutely zero interest in The Miz being a babyface. Now, WWE might go about doing this in a different way. Shane, I could actually see by the fact that they brought Mike Mizanin's father to television, I could see Miz playing the babyface and Shane being the dick because he feels The Miz is not trustworthy enough and he's going to end up turning his back on The Miz because he doesn't fully trust Mike Mizanin. And the fact that they brought The Miz's father might play into the fact that Miz might be the babyface going into this. Either way you look at it, I have zero interest in what they do. First of all, I don't even know where this happens, where the split happens. As long as the tag team titles go to someone who actually is a fucking tag team on SmackDown Live, anybody but the Bar and the New Day, please. I'll take the Usos because they have always been the best tag team in my eyes on SmackDown Live and in WWE right now on the main roster, but I might not be giving enough credit to what this match could be. This could actually end up being the Miz's best WrestleMania match ever with Shane McMahon. So there is one slight positive to this, but the overall grand scheme of this, I'm not interested in it. We all knew this is exactly where it was going. How they get there, I don't know. Who's going to be the heel and babyface, I really don't know. I prefer a heel Miz, but like I mentioned, with the Miz's father being brought in on SmackDown Live, I could see the Miz playing the babyface and Shane turning heel because he doesn't fully trust the Miz, and he would want to do to the Miz first what he thinks the Miz is going to do to him. That's the way I see it. Either way, I'm not interested. I don't really give a shit. But the McMahons got to get their obligatory match on WrestleMania. You know, Triple H is going to have a match. Shane McMahon's going to have a match. 2 matches that are being taken up by the McMahon family every single year, and nothing fucking changes. New era, they said. New era, they said. I'm still waiting. The AEW effect has even slipped into the backstage producer roles. WWE going out there snatching backstage producers like they're fucking grabbing a head of lettuce in the produce aisle. You know, WWE, they don't want to admit it, but everything that they do, their actions speak louder than words. Why'd they go out and get Sanjay Dutt? Why'd they go out and sign Abyss? Why'd they go out and sign the Hurricane, Shane Helms? Why'd they go out and get Sean Daivari? How many producers do they fucking need? They can't even produce a good show with the producers they have now. What are these guys going to do differently? Fuck out of here. Mike Johnson spoke about how much WWE wanted Shane Helms during the PW Insider Elite Audio this past week. Helms offers way more than great suggestions about how to make matches work, but he also possesses a rare morale-building character, which makes him great to be around. Says, and I quote, "The one producer especially that I'm excited about is Shane Helms, because when he walked into Impact during that period where Big John Gaborik was in charge, he came in with a fresh set of eyes, and there were always things that would happen because of his impact, and he said, why's it have to be that way?" That's the way it was quoted. Why does it have to be that way for the proper-speaking English goons out there? And he brought a different energy backstage, and he made the matches better and helped the morale of that locker room. You know, he was let go in the middle of that Jeff Jarrett takeover that didn't work out and all that other stuff, but he gets the opportunity to do what he did in Impact for WWE, and that will help morale. Because the morale in WWE right now has got to be at a fucking piss-poor level, no matter what they tell you. It will help the guys, and it will be a fresh set of eyes, and apparently they were pursuing Helms for months and months and months. dating back to last year about coming in, and he finally said, all right, let's do it. Well, damn, Mike Johnson, you got me fucking excited. A fresh set of eyes and a new perspective on a tired and boring formula that's going on right now in WWE. Might be exactly what we need, but it's going to be a collective effort here. You know, Shane Helms can't change everything on his own. WWE didn't make a spur-of-the-moment decision with Hurricane Helms because they really wanted him. Hopefully, he will do very well in WWE. Yeah, but they amped up the signing for Helms and Daivari. They got Abyss and Sanjay Dutt. Yeah, they might have wanted Shane Helms, but I guarantee you they expedited that because of AEW. You know, they seen AEW bring in Billy Gunn. I'm hearing Billy Gunn is not going to be the only DX member in AEW as far as the backstage producer role goes. I think X-Pac is going to be joining them as well. Sean Waltman's going to be joining them. So we got DX split between the number one and number two companies in the United States, wrestling-wise. You got Billy Gunn and X-Pac probably going over there. On WWE side, you got D-O-double-G, Road Dogg. You got Triple H leading NXT and Shawn Michaels in NXT as Triple H's right-hand man. Pretty interesting to see where DX was in the Attitude Era and now during all of this. It's pretty interesting, man. So, you know, the backstage producer roles, I hope that they end up being good, and I hope that they end up bringing a fresh perspective to television. But how that translates to television, it's got to go through Vince McMahon. And if it goes through Vince McMahon, more than likely, it's going to be garbage. So we'll see what happens with that. But I'm all for backstage morale being brought up, because I can guarantee you the fucking morale right now with all these people wanting to walk away, it's not really all that good right now. So we'll see what happens with Shane Helms and Sean Daivari. And I'm interested to see what Abyss does as well in his role with WWE. Lars Sullivan was slated to assist Daniel Bryan instead of Eric Rowan. Now, this is interesting because I know for a fact that Solomonster mentioned this on his podcast, and the fact that this is now being brought up as what was slated to happen is very interesting. But they don't listen to podcasts, though, right? Where else would they have gotten that? We were reporting and we were talking about Lars Sullivan and John Cena at WrestleMania. Now, all of a sudden, Lars Sullivan was slated to assist Daniel Bryan instead of Eric Rowan. Now, I don't know what that means. I would be very intrigued to see Lars Sullivan and Daniel Bryan together. I honestly think Lars Sullivan probably would have been a better body for Daniel Bryan, or a bodyguard for Daniel Bryan. You know, because what a lot of people don't understand or realize is that Lars Sullivan is a pretty damn good talker. He's a pretty damn good speaker. And I think he would bounce off of Daniel Bryan very well. You know, Eric Rowan was brought back to TV in this new role, which signals the end of the Bludgeon Brothers. We haven't heard from him yet. We don't know how this came about or why this came about. Daniel Bryan did a little bit of explanation. But I want to physically hear from Eric Rowan as to why he is now an environmentalist with Daniel Bryan. But Daniel Bryan formed a new union at the Royal Rumble. Rowan came down to the ring and assisted WWE Champion Daniel Bryan in defeating AJ Styles. However, that might not have been Rowan's spot to begin with. Wade Keller spoke about this decision to team Rowan and Bryan up during the Wade Keller Pro Wrestling podcast, where he stated that he thought Lars Sullivan was actually slated for that role of Bryan's new assistant instead. And I know Wade Keller usually has Jason Solomonster on his podcast, sometimes talking about Smackdown Live. I'm sure that he raised that possible fantasy booking scenario up on the show, because I know Solomonster was also mentioning that he would prefer Lars Sullivan on Smackdown Live, like everybody, I believe, said it, because Monday Night Raw is the land of the giants. You got Lesnar, you got Bobby Lashley, you got Braun Strowman. Lars Sullivan, realistically, should look like his own type of monster and not be dwarfed by guys like Lars Sullivan. Or by Braun Strowman, rather. Lars Sullivan should not be dwarfed by guys like Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley and guys like that. SmackDown Live probably would have been a better fit for him. He could fight guys like AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy and Rey Mysterio and make them look good and them make him look good, too, as an intimidating force. He says, and I quote, "I think Lars Sullivan was slated for the spot. I mean, it just totally would fit Lars' character, and he was portrayed this way in NXT as well. I'm not sure Rowan will pull it off as well as Lars would have, but we'll see. I'm not down on this move." End quote. It makes a lot of sense to put Sullivan with Daniel Bryan as his muscle. After all, Sullivan has plenty of muscle to spare. He might have worn WWE a little thin with his recent situation, but Triple H did promise that they do still have plans for Lars Sullivan, and we'll see them when we see them. This is an interesting take on it, man. We really can't talk about what would have been done with that, but it's definitely interesting to think about. I'm not down on Eric Rowan being part of Daniel Bryan's new group here. This could lead to Luke Harper coming on in. This could lead to Bray Wyatt coming on in, or this could lead to Bray Wyatt coming to SmackDown Live and feuding with Daniel Bryan in a babyface role. Because Bray Wyatt is all about, the truth and bringing people to light and reality. That could bounce really well off Daniel Bryan, but the roles be reversed. And I think they work great together. And we all need Bray Wyatt to come back in a meaningful role. This could be it. Daniel Bryan could have gotten to the Wyatt family and just transformed them into this new vision. And Bray Wyatt takes exception to that. Comes back on SmackDown Live. I never thought Bray Wyatt should have been removed from SmackDown Live to begin with. They put him over on Monday Night Raw. Dead. Absolutely dead. Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan for the WWE title at WrestleMania could be an interesting situation if they do want to go down that road. And it's crazy how we don't really have a set opponent for Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. I know we got the Elimination Chamber coming up, but even that, putting him in that match with 5 other guys, I still do not see them taking the title off of Daniel Bryan. He is just too good, and they just introduced a new title. You're not going to introduce a new title and have it last a month on WWE television. Daniel Bryan more than likely will be walking into WrestleMania as the WWE Champion, and if not, I think it's a mistake on WWE's part. What is a mistake is how you guys have not signed up for Audible. Oh yeah, you like that transition? I know. You guys are missing out. You're making a mistake if you don't go to audibletrial.com/offthescript. Now, why are you making a mistake? Simple. Because Audible is one of the official sponsors of this show, and Audible is giving you guys 30 days free of their service and 1 free audiobook of your choice. All you have to do is the following. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Sign up. Free. Go through the sign-up process. You're going to download the app on your iPhone or Android devices, and then you're going to pick whatever audiobook you want for free. Ton of wrestling-related content. Over 200,000 choices to choose from, and it is Free. Free. Here's the best part. If you like Audible, you're more than welcome to stay on for whatever monthly fee they provide you. If you don't like it, you guys can cancel on day 1 and get your free book, or you can cancel on day 29 and still keep your audiobook for free. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Great way to support the podcast by doing absolutely nothing but sitting where you are right now, listening to me. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Moving on here with the rest of the podcast, man, we got news on Triple H completely backing Seth Rollins in his push for Brock Lesnar and the Universal Championship. Triple H behind Seth Rollins' WrestleMania main event match with Brock Lesnar. Rollins is finally back on track, and he's on a big roll heading towards WrestleMania. He defeated everyone he could at the Royal Rumble, won the Rumble. On the next night on Raw, Triple H put him over in a big way before Brock Lesnar slaughtered him with 6 F5s to close the show. Still, Rollins has a match scheduled with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and a big push is on the way for Rollins. WrestleVotes remarked how the opening of Raw this week rang true of reality because Triple H is the man behind this latest push for Seth Rollins. They say, and I quote, "Catching up on Raw as we were this week, but the emotion in the opening segment between Rollins and Triple H was all real. This renewed Rollins push and the decision for him to main event Mania," we'll see what main event means. I'm sure it'll be under the Becky and Ronda match. One of the main events of WrestleMania was very much Hunter's call. The game is going all in on Seth Rollins, end quote. Sometimes the best things on WWE television, I mention it all the time, the things that we see on television, if they're deep-rooted in reality, sometimes those are the best things that come across on television. Now, if only they had realized this going into SummerSlam, and Rollins, at this point, should already be the Universal Champion. Imagine that. Imagine that. I'll never stop saying that the Summer of Rollins is what should have led Rollins to being the Universal Champion against Lesnar at SummerSlam. We got Roman. How good did that end up? Not good at all. And it has nothing to do with his leukemia, by the way, clowns. It was just a terrible booking decision. What did we get after that? Roman didn't make any impact. Roman didn't move the needle. In fact, he was driving fans away. And Roman ain't the reason for the slumping ratings now either. It wasn't even good when he was there. I like this, but it's a little too late. It's a little too late. Now, the proper booking decision here is Rollins winning the title. There's no way around it. Now, there was a story going around that Vince McMahon wanted Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. Or Strowman versus McIntyre for the Universal Championship. No. On either one. Those do not ring true of WrestleMania to me. They don't even fucking ring true of Monday Night Raw. And you can't get lower than Raw. This is the right main event. Strowman in the main event doesn't really make it main event, quote unquote. McIntyre, I said it once, I'm going to say it again. I love Drew McIntyre. I just don't think it's the right time. He's ready. He is 100% ready. Don't know what the fuck they're going to do with him. I'm going to make a guess and say John Cena at WrestleMania, and John Cena pass the torch and then go away and then come back again for SummerSlam. But McIntyre's time is not right now. It's Rollins' time. And then WWE, once they get Rollins with the title, it is on them to give him new opponents. I don't want to see Rollins versus McIntyre. They already killed that. Rollins versus Strowman. I don't give a fuck. Rollins versus Balor. I would be okay with, but we've seen it too many times. Rollins versus Lashley. Monday Night Raw after Mania needs a fresh coat of paint. Fuck fresh coat of paint. It needs to go to it needs to go to the fucking dumpster. And WWE needs to go just balls to the wall, change everything about Monday Night Raw. That show needs a brand new fucking interior design. More so than I've ever thought of before. Seriously, Rollins, if he wins the title, he needs a fresh batch of opponents. Because the people on Monday Night Raw right now, my God, you want him? You want people to be sitting where I'm sitting, explaining how Rollins' run sucks as Universal Champion? You keep the same roster you got on Monday Night Raw now. That will not do him any favors. You're going to give him the title, you build around him. You're not going to build around him with the fucking bums you got on Monday Night Raw right now. Speaking of the Royal Rumble, we got Royal Rumble news. We have Asuka. Asuka's in the news. Why did Asuka tap out Becky Lynch at the Royal Rumble? Well, Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that this storytelling device very well could resurface. Asuka made Becky Lynch tap out, which is something that the man and the fans will not soon forget. He says, and I quote, "I'm going to guess that Asuka tapped her out because they want to set up Asuka versus Becky once Becky beats Ronda. But you still have to do some manipulation because Becky would be on Raw and Asuka would be, if she's the champion coming out of WrestleMania or not, still on Smackdown. So they could move one of them over, or they could just unify the divisions, like I had fantasy booked earlier on. It was noted that Asuka tapping out Becky Lynch might not be forgotten so easily, and it wasn't the right creative decision as far as I go. But Becky ended up winning the Royal Rumble, so it was a little easier to digest. I honestly think that there was a better way to go about it. Becky could have passed out, but then you would have the idiots saying, well, Shayna Baszler and Bianca Belair did the same thing on Saturday night. And that's what WWE was probably thinking, but who cares? Who cares? If it's the right decision, it's the right decision. Go with it. Enough of this, oh, well, NXT did it, we can't do it. If it's the right decision, go with it. I don't understand this logic. Why is Becky losing? Obviously, she had to lose the title, or the title opportunity. Asuka should have remained champion. There was no way Becky was beating Asuka there. Could have been a DQ. Could have been some other way to get her in the Royal Rumble, because the way that they did it, yes, Becky won the Royal Rumble, but it also made her look like, entitled. And it made her look like a crybaby. She could have passed out. Could have passed out. At least that would have made her a little bit stronger. But we got what we wanted. I can't complain too much. And if we get Asuka versus Becky Lynch, hey, I'm all for it. That was a damn good match. In fact, it's probably my favorite match of the entire undercard on the Royal Rumble. WWE, speaking of the Rumble, messed up timing on the Royal Rumble. Really, you don't say. The fact that it went 7 hours, I would fucking hope so. Dave Meltzer discussed the timing of the Rumble event during Wrestling Observer Live this week and how it actually felt like they were rushing the end of the men's Rumble. We noticed this because it seemed like the men kept coming down at smaller intervals of time. I was wondering that as well. It didn't feel like 90 seconds whatsoever. It felt like it was more 60, 70 seconds. So, WWE might have needed to rush things because of a timing issue. He says, and I quote, "I don't know if it went too long. It felt like it went too long, but maybe they mistimed the show because it just felt like the men's match. They were rushing through things a lot." End quote. The event went off the air with minutes to spare right before midnight on the East Coast. I hate that, because I'm in no mood to do a fucking review after an event like that. There are not a lot of pay-per-views that go late into the night, especially on a school night. Therefore, we can only imagine some younger fans didn't get to see the Architect, Seth Rollins, win the main event and point to the WrestleMania sign. I know for a fact that my brother had work in the morning, and he didn't even watch the Men's Rumble because it was too late. I'm like, did you watch the Men's Rumble? No, I fell asleep. Or I went to bed. I didn't even give a shit. Good, you didn't miss anything. The match was terrible, and Rollins ended up winning. There you go. There's your spoiler. Can't be doing that. Quality over quantity. They think, 7 hours, man. That's exactly what we want. That's exactly what the fans want, man. They want 7 hours of WWE. What? Wrestle Kingdom, they didn't even go 4.5 hours? Imagine that. Wrestle Kingdom only went 4.5 hours, and the Rumble went 7 hours. Is it needed? Okada? Yeah, Okada lost, you fucking beaver fucking goon. Anyway, yeah, it was too long. It was too fucking long. Either way you look at it, man, it's not going to stop. WrestleMania's going to be 7 fucking hours. I fucking pray to God it's not. If they're doing a 5 p.m. pre-show, there's no reason it can't end at 11 o'clock. None. WWE impressed with the reaction to Nikki Cross at the Royal Rumble. Well, you don't say. You don't say. Well, how impressed is she? Or how impressed are you, rather, of Nikki Cross? She didn't have one fucking elimination in the match. Meanwhile, Lacey Evans lasts 30 fucking minutes. Nikki Cross entered the Royal Rumble. Made her Royal Rumble debut. Crowd popped huge. PW Insider reports that people were pleasantly surprised backstage by the huge pop of Nikki Cross coming out. Is this going to result in a push? Probably not. She's teaming with Alicia Fox on Monday Night Raw in a tag team qualifying match. This has to be a good sign for her, considering how Asuka's current push is said to be due to the fact that she got such a big reception when a match against Ronda Rousey was teased as Becky Lynch was picking her Survivor Series replacement. We'll have to wait and see with Cross. There's no wait and see. WWE has nothing planned for Nikki Cross. In fact, what I would do with Nikki Cross, if she can show up on both shows, which they stated, I wouldn't mind a Nikki Cross versus Asuka feud for WrestleMania. Just throwing that out there. You want someone for Asuka if they're going to add Charlotte to the main event? There you go. Nikki Cross is a perfect candidate for that. WWE trying to warm fans up to intergender wrestling. Nia Jax made her men's Royal Rumble appearance at the number 30 spot after taking out R-Truth. Now, Dave Meltzer noted on the Wrestling Observer Radio that this spot was likely constructed during this match because WWE is trying to blur a previously established line against any punishment being inflicted from a male wrestler to a female. He says, and I quote, "I think the idea is that they want to slowly bring it in because this is the first time that a woman has taken punishment from a guy, and if you're going to do it the first time, then you need to do it with a really big woman, and that's Nia Jax." So the way that people are going to go is it's not really the woman's really big. So when you see Nia Jax, you kind of get a little sense of ease that it's going to work out pretty good. Couldn't put Alexa Bliss in that spot. Yeah, it's not going to work with most of the women on the roster. Maybe a Ronda Rousey, maybe a Nia Jax because of her size. But I don't really care to see it in WWE. I don't mind it. I just don't care to see it in WWE. It's not my cup of tea. Like, I could watch Lucha Underground and I could be okay with it. But WWE, I don't know if I'd be okay with it. I could watch the Indies, I could be okay with it. I know Jordan Grace was in the All-In Battle Royal, the over-the-budget Battle Royal. She had a fantastic fucking spot there with Brian Cage. She mixed it up with the men. She actually told me personally she loves wrestling the men more than the women. Charlotte Flair has a different stance on that. She says wrestling the men is easy entertainment, which I would have to agree with. It's much different, and it's much harder to tell a story with somebody, with another female than it is with a man. The story is simple there. It's much more difficult to tell a story with an Alicia Fox or a Mickie James than it is with, a Nia Jackson, Randy Orton. I do agree with that, but I don't think this is something that WWE wants to bring in. And if they do want to bring it in, this has an AEW effect written all over it. Because I'm assuming and I'm sure that AEW is going to have some sort of women's wrestling the men. Or some portion of their shows are going to be sometime, not all the time, but men wrestling the women and vice versa. And it's going to be one of those things where, well, if AEW's doing it, we could do it better. I could definitely see that happening. Now, it was noted that maybe enough fans also complained about the Mixed Match Challenge where the men weren't allowed to do moves on the women. Now WWE is going to change things up either way. It seems like WWE could be moving into a new territory that they tested out at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. I don't know, man. The sponsors have to be okay with it. That's number one. The stockholders and the shareholders have to be okay with it. I don't think it's going to be something that people are going to agree with. They was complaining about Nia Jax being in the men's rumble and her taking punishment from the men. Meanwhile, this thing has been happening on the indies for years. So, give me a fucking break. Seriously. Do your fucking research. WWE has no plans for a 4-horsewomen feud. Good. We don't need it this year. And the latest I would do it is next year at Survivor Series. Because if Ronda Rousey goes away, what's going to happen? Shayna Baszler is going to be right there to take her spot. Ronda Rousey's entrance to WWE was quickly followed by fans wondering how long it would be until we see a 4-horsewomen match of UFC and WWE nature in WWE. However, it hasn't happened just yet. Meltzer revealed on Wrestling Observer Radio that in spite of the fact that Ronda teased a match in a big way following the Rumble, it doesn't seem to be in the plans. And I quote, Ronda actually cut a promo about the horsewomen versus horsewomen match. It was actually a good promo too. Right now, as far as between now and WrestleMania, there are no plans for that. It can change, but there's nothing now. So, I had to ask specifically. I said, it looks like they're going that direction, and Sasha really, really, really wants that, especially, and Ronda is not opposed to it either. That those are her real friends, and it's not in the cards. The next 2 pay-per-views, anyway, it could change sometime in the year. I don't want it to happen. I really don't want it to happen, and especially with Ronda Rousey going away, this is a perfect opportunity for Shayna Baszler to come on in, take Ronda's spot on Monday Night Raw, feud with Becky, kind of be there as a anchor for Ronda Rousey being out. And when Ronda comes back, and if she goes through the motions of having a kid, this gives time for Ronda to kind of go away for a little bit, give the spotlight back to Becky, have the division go back to a normal change, or right back to where it was. But now with Ronda Rousey's influence marked all over it, her job is done, she could go away. Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke are absolutely nowhere close to being ready. Who the fuck are they in the eyes of the WWE crowd? Nobody's. Shayna is going to have to get situated on the main roster, because people don't watch NXT. Shayna has to pretty much start all over again on the main roster. We know how great she is, but she's got to get acclimated on the main roster. Once that's done, then while she's doing that, we all know Ronda and what she's capable of. Shayna can make her mark on the main roster. Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir can get to that point where hopefully by the end of the year they're much better and they're on the same track as Shayna. Next year, while they're going through the motions in NXT, they'll get even better. They get called up to the main roster, and they get acclimated on the main roster. And then when everybody is ready, they'll have the 4-horsewomen match at Survivor Series in 2020. It doesn't need to happen this year. It doesn't. And I hope that it doesn't. I'm glad that there's no plans for it. Everybody needs to be on the same level. You can't have 2 of the horsewomen in UFC mean something and the other 2 be irrelevant. Everybody has to have their part in this match. If not, it's not going to be as special as everybody is anticipating and expecting it to be. Speaking of the horsewomen, Bayley was rushed out to save Ronda Rousey on Raw. Meltzer talked about this on the Observer Live. You know they rushed Bayley out because you know they had all those inflatable dummies, those inflatable deals, and she ran out before all of that even popped up. So it was kind of like they sent her out there to save the segment or whatever, or maybe Ronda had gone too long and they just threw Bayley out there because Ronda kept pausing and everything like that. Whatever it was, Bayley was sent out. So there you go. You know for a fact, it could have been a mixture of both things. I think Ronda, didn't know how to acclimate herself as far as time goes. She just let that moment sink in longer than people usually do. She didn't really say much of anything. It looked like she got flustered. I wouldn't doubt that WWE sent Bayley out for those two reasons, because Ronda was pretty much a sinking ship at that point. She couldn't handle that type of reaction. She didn't know how to handle it. And she just kept prolonging the segment when it should have ended well before Bayley came out. So I could see both of those situations happening. Either way, Bayley was rushed out to save Ronda Rousey on Raw, which was one of her worst promos. And then when Becky got there, coincidentally, she cut one of her best promos, if not her best promo. Ronda is best when she is a maniacal fucking killer. Enough of this smiling. Ronda should not be smiling on the road to WrestleMania, okay? We need to see bitch Ronda. We need to see Ronda in Terminator mode. This is the main event of WrestleMania. No smiling, no shaking hands, no waving, nothing. I want to see bitch Ronda. Ronda, in that promo with Becky, sounded better than she ever did. That's the Ronda we need to see. Anything else that's straying from that is unneeded. This is the Ronda we need to see. Finally, guys, we're going to end with this. Wow, look at this. A Mojo Rawley segment on the show. Really now? Man, there must be no fucking news. WWE's likely plan for Mojo Rawley. Man, I can't wait to hear this one. Meltzer talked about this on the Observer Live. Mojo did a promo to a mirror saying that is his real self and he's coming soon. This seems to be the annual 3-week push for Mojo Rawley, which will most likely go nowhere. End quote. There you go. Mojo Rawley, what is he going to do? What is he going to do? This is a new era, folks. Does the new era to you include Mojo Rawley? The only era that Mojo Rawley should be seeing is the unemployment era. I'm getting the fuck out of here. And even if he was unemployed, is he going to go to AEW? What is he going to be over there? A fucking busboy for catering? He's going to be part of the ring crew? Fuck out of here, man. I don't even blame Mojo. I mean, he was at his best with Zack Ryder. Simple as that. Mojo by himself, I will never take Mojo Rawley seriously as a singles competitor. I'm sorry. Sorry, that's just the way it is. Sometimes you're a cookie in the bakery glass, and you're just sitting there, and you got a whole tray of those cookies, right? Sometimes you're just not the taste of the cookie people want. That's Mojo Rawley. I'm getting the fuck out of here, man. Thank you guys so very much. I am possibly going to be back with part 3 tomorrow, but I literally ran out of news. So I'm going to try and buy my best to get some news for you guys for a Sunday episode. If not, there'll be an AEW news and rumors video. And if this is the end of Off the Script this weekend, I'm going to wish you guys a great weekend. Farewell. I will see you back here on episode 260. Is my birthday week next week, and it will be my 5-year anniversary of Off the Script. So thank you guys so very much for all of your support, man. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript for your t-shirts. Use code BSHOP10 for 10% off. Remember, harrys.com/script for your free trial. audibletrial.com/offthescript for your free audio book and 30 days free of Audible service. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Both Twitter and Instagram, man, the same thing. JD from NY206, easy to find. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Get the new t-shirt, JDs Elite, now on bonfire.com. Link in the description and the annotation, or not the annotation, but the description and the comment section down below. And if you guys want to follow up on everything that I missed, man, Dean Ambrose to AEW, part 1 of this weekend show. Brock Lesnar to be elite with AEW. That was Thursday's extra video. And I did an extra video earlier this afternoon about Kenny Omega and his new home in AEW, man. Thank you guys so very much. I am getting out of here. Hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow with something for sure, whether it's Off the Script or all Elite Wrestling news on an extra. Either way, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great Saturday. and I'll see you all tomorrow right back here on the channel. I'll talk to you guys later.